Huvo, welcome back to the channel. My name is David. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 5 lenses I use to create music photography content. Now, this lens kit applies to both photo and video applications. It's not strictly photography, even though I do a lot of music photography. I also shoot a lot of video for these bands as well. Now, if you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of putting lens kits together. I actually recently did a video where I built the perfect Sigma lens trinity for Sony E-mount. I highly invite you to go check that video out. It was a lot of fun to put together, and I'm very proud of that particular kit. Now, I will say this, you don't need this lens kit to shoot music or events. This is just my personal kit that I put together that I love to use with the Nikon ZF, but you can get away with like 1 or 2 good lenses and you're good to go. Now, lastly, quick disclaimer, Nikon did not provide any of the equipment shown in this video. I bought everything with my hard-earned money, and you already know what I'm gonna say. My wallet is in therapy. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. For the cameras of choice, I use 2 Nikon ZF cameras. The main reason, I always like having 2 of the same body for backup purposes. However, the retro design makes this camera a lot of fun to use. Now, in terms of the specs, the ZF has a 24 megapixel backside illuminated sensor, which produces some great images. It has the same autofocus system as the Z6 Mark III, the Z8, and the Z9, making it very reliable for photo and video work. It also features a dedicated black and white mode, which is a joy to use. In terms of the video specs, it can shoot 10-bit 420 in Rec 709 and 10-bit 422 using N-Log. It also features a tilty flippy screen for vlogging. Overall, this camera is very capable and handles all my photo and video needs. For my first lens, I use the Nikon Z 17-28 f2.8. This covers my ultra wide to wide angles, and it's a fantastic lens to use for vlogging or gimbal work. Autofocus wise, it's fast, quiet, and accurate like many of Nikon's Z lenses. In terms of image quality, it's a sharp lens, not crazy sharp like some of the S-line lenses, but sharp enough for most applications. I recently reviewed the Tamron 28-75 f2.8 G2 and said that this lens is the lens to get over Nikon's own 28-75 f2.8. Not only is this lens $200 cheaper than the Nikon, but it's also newer with better glass and focusing motors. Images that this lens produces are sharp and have a nice pop to them. Autofocus is quiet, fast, and accurate, making this my go-to lens for photo and video work when I need coverage or if I can only pack one lens. The Nikon Z 70-180 f2.8 is my most recent addition to my kit. It is a much lighter and less expensive alternative to the Nikon Z 70-200 f2.8s. Much like the 17-28, this lens is sharp enough for most applications, and autofocus is quick, quiet, and reliable. I often pair this lens with my 28-75 when I'm working large venues or when I need the reach as I'm not able to get close to the subject. As many of you know, I often shoot in dimly lit venues where 2.8 feels like 5.6. And since I also can't use flash in a lot of these venues, I have to rely on fast aperture primes. I chose the 35mm and 85mm combo. The f1.4 and f1.8 apertures let in a lot more light than f2.8, which also helps keep the ISO down. Since most of the venues I often shoot in are small, 35 and 85mm provide more than enough coverage. And that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, double tap the dislike twice. Trust me, it works. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and follow me on Instagram at DLoVisuals to stay up to date with my latest adventures. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.